Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thought I'd do a little magazine walkthrough today. And I got 3 in the mail today: Town and Country, Bazaar, and Elle. And I hope that's enough light for you all. I didn't want to put too much light and make a glare. That might be okay. I was thinking I may use her. I don't know. I've used something to this effect before. I definitely used the jewelry. And once I go through these, I'll show you a couple in my journals where I've done that. I might use her in what I call my little vignettes, where I take little magazine clippings and make like little vignettes. I'll probably use that. May use the watch, which I seem to be using a lot of watches here lately. I've used that before, and I'll show you that in my journal in a minute. I think I did cut that out the other day too, but I haven't used it thus yet. There's another watch. I think I'll use it. I may use that in one of my little vignettes. And I have used this. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, sandyso_arty, I did like a 16 by 20 collage that I used that in. Here's another watch. You know, I may just do a 2-pager on just watches for like a background. I may use her. I like the black and white photo, and she's obstructed. There's no words or anything obstructing her. Here's another watch I could use. And I like that there's no words over top of it. I sometimes use these little pictures in my little collages. I may use that for a background. I think I'll use that pocketbook too in a vignette. I'll definitely use these in a vignette. Some more watches. More jewelry. Thick page. Let me see. I always look at this jewelry thinking I'm going to cut it out, but I never do. I think I'll pass on her this time. Marlo Thomas still looks good. I know some of you will use that as a background, but I think I'll pass on that. Here's some good words to use for those of you who like to save that word journal. Kind of like her photo. Kind of like this. Or maybe one of my vignettes. Kind of like her photo. Kind of like hers, but it's way too big. And plus, they cut the top of her head off. But, you know, there's other ways around that. You can always, you know, put flowers or just any other object over top of her head. Jewelry. And I've done that too. Here's my bazaar. I did take her photo out one time, but I haven't yet used it. And I have cut these big words out before and used that in a collage, and I'll show you all that in a minute. 2 more watches for my watch collage. Another word. Some of you could cut out, use the letters. I like this. I'll probably use each of these in a vignette. I have used her. Probably will cut that out and her also. I hate that they put prod over top of it, but there's ways around that too. You can always, you know, put other things over top, but I do like the face. I like these little scented things. I usually tear these things open and leave them in my craft room at night, and then shut the door, and then in the morning my craft room smells really good. I like her photo. Probably will cut that out also. There's some more big letters. I've used her also, and there's another word I've used. I would use that if it wasn't obstructed, but like I said, there's ways around if you want to cover that up. I've used that bottle several times. There's her photo again. More watches. That'll be one big collage. I like that watch, actually. It looks like some scales. Let's see. Well, I'm just not finding that much. Dolly Parton, we love you. She's very classy. May use her. I probably will use her in one of my little collages. That's about the right size. Probably will use these two. I like nothing's obstructed. I like these two. like a hot mess. I have used her before. Another watch. I think I'll just start me a little box and put all the watches in it. I like her photo. I may use that with the watches. I like that. Gotta remember she's in the Elle magazine. And other scented things. I put it on my desk, those scented things under my desk, where the vent is, so the vent will blow on them at night. May use that for the graphics. These two for the graphics. Another watch. Could do her in a watch thing, you know, cut her out, put watches around her to cover the words. I have used stuff like this. I have used my punch and punched these things out. But sometimes if the paper's too thin, there's some magazines that are really thin pages, but if they're too thin, it won't cut it at all. But I will use the yellow since it has texture. May use that for the watches, the background for the watches. Not finding as much as I normally do. But usually after I've gone back through a book a third and a fourth time, I find things I didn't find before. Probably that happens with you all too. I have used big letters for my backgrounds. I may use these two, I'm not sure. I may use her. I like her. You could actually cut this letter out and put her over top of it for the graphics. That would look good. I like these two photos, but she takes up the whole page. That's the only thing bad about this one. And you know, the hair, it's kind of hard to, which I have done it, it's kind of hard to judge where you want to cut the hair off at, or to go around it, or do you want to include that. The same thing with the ruffles. It's kind of hard to judge, you know, how to cut that. Kind of like her photo, but I did cut one out similar to her that had a silver dress, and I'm having a really hard time trying to find something for her to fit in with. But you know, I do like you all. I saved the photo until I come across that. Okay, I'll get my book over here and show you all some that I've done. Here's one where I used all the words. I mean all the names of the brands. And then I did the spray inks in the background. This one I did the other day. It was a bunch of layers, and I think I did the green, dark green blot, and I didn't like it, so instead of, you know, I just went over it with lighter colors and just kept going over it with stamps, pen, my Posca pens. You know, after I did the stamps, then I go over, outline the stamps. And here's one I did today. It's another one where I changed my mind in the middle. I thought, okay, I'll do the stamp in the background, which I took this stamp, totally just this one stamp, and did the whole background with a light faded green. The whole background. And then I took some flower images and put them on here in gold. And then after I did that, I took this stamp in orange, which I got some new Distress inks, Tim Holtz. This one happens to be Spiced Marmalade. And I like it that these show up a lot better. And this mustard seed, like that much better. It shows up a lot better than some of the yellows. And here again, I used this cutout. And actually, these black was the front page off of, I think it's Variety magazine. It had words on the front, so I went ahead and cut it out where it was the black words. And this was this stamp right here, Tim Holtz stamp. And this here, see if I can find it. This here was my block stamp, corner stamp. And then actually once I took my inky papers, like one of these inky papers, and I cut this out and made my little stars. I went ahead and just cut the paper out and used it. And this Paris stamp was another one of my stamps over here. And I continued on this side with the same color, but with this Tim Holtz. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a brick pattern. It's a brick pattern and a block pattern. And did that over here, and then actually went all the way down with this block stamp. This is a Recollections. Went all the way down with this stamp. And then took my corner stamp. Then took this stamp and used the picked raspberry. And went over it. And then used the black with this stamp and went over it. But some of them you can't see, and this was the coffee grind. And another stamp I had with the 3 butterflies on it. Oh, and she come off of Variety magazine. And here's another one. I just want to show you. I guess when I walked through, I seen the watch. So I was just letting you know that I do use a lot of jewelry in this. And I didn't know if you all seen this one the other day where I used the watercolors. And this brush. And just kept going around each thing. And it kind of made it look like a flower, but I had these flowers, but I knew it wasn't going to be enough, so I added some up here. And this from the Recollections, or Tim Holtz maybe. And here's one where I used the big white watch, and I used the Cartier watch over here. And this is what I really call vignettes, when you put like little pictures together. And then I got my other book. Where I found some words out of, I don't know if I showed you all this the other day, words out of a book I had got from the grocery store, but it was about weddings. And this is what I call my little vignette. And here's again the jewelry. I think that was a doorknob. That was a doorknob. And here's one I done the other day. I had seen someone else do this on Pinterest. And I didn't even think about her till the very last minute. I happened to be flipping through looking for some more colors. I was going to do the body. And I happened to come across her, and I've looked at her several times and was going to use her. And I thought, well, she might just be perfect for this. But I had went through and cut out a bunch of words, the words only, different colors, made my background. And then I think this was several pictures out of, I had like 3 of these magazines. So I cut this same picture, just cut it up to 100 pieces. And I think these were my letters that I save. Here's another where I use the watches. And didn't do anything more than use my stamps for the backgrounds. And here's the jewelry. And there's that 3 that I use. So what was the 3, and then the watch, and then the lady with the bird. And she had her arm on something, so I thought, okay, once I cut her out, I'll put her arm on the watch. Here's another one using the jewelry and the watch. And the background was my block stamp. And I used gold acrylic paint. And I believe I done the block stamp all over first, then the paint went over top of it, gave it that subdued look. Here's another just with the vignettes, and this is jewelry. Jewelry here. And this is one I did this morning. Actually, I had taken some green and a paper towel holder and just did the green, stamped it all over. And then I wasn't quite satisfied. It just was not enough, so I took another stamp that I had, which was this one, and it's huge and it's heavy. And, you know, it's kind of hard to work with, but anyway. And that's what I did. and it kind of made it look messy, but anyway, and then I went over it and took some green out of one of my magazines and done this stamp again and put those all over. Then her photo, found these two flowers. And I done the same on this side with these distressed inks that I had. I just bought these the other day, and that's peacock feathers, mustard seed, spice marmalade, picked raspberry. And then again, use the black flowers from the front of that magazine. And here's that lady that I used out of the magazine. Put a whole thing of flowers behind her. And I found this big old word perfection. Actually, I'd done the spray inks, thought I liked the word perfection, so I cut each letter out, put it across, and didn't know quite what I'd do, but I thought I would put her over top of it. Seems to work for me. And another one that I call vignettes, and I use these little images for that. I think they work out perfect. And here was one where just swatches of fabric, and I really didn't have enough swatches of fabric to go around, so I found this blue pocketbook, which you really can't tell that it's a pocketbook because I hid the handles under her head, but then put her over top, and that way I didn't have to really do a background. I kind of like the white background around her. And that's all I have for you all today, guys. So thank you for watching. Hope you'll subscribe, and see you tomorrow.